Hello. This week I've come into church for my video message next to this beautiful flower arrangement which was arranged for our service on Sunday. And I've been hearing during the week about how some people are worried and fearful about a number of things. We have people who are worried about the present situation in our country, with rising levels of coronavirus cases around the country and some parts going into lockdown. The prospect of spending the winter with the dark, cold nights and the fear of more lockdowns around the country fill people with dread. At the moment, we're still not sure how we're going to be able to celebrate Christmas, although I'm sure we will celebrate it in one way or another. But who knows what the coming weeks will bring. I've also heard about how some people are worried about the future of the church. Our income has, unfortunately, fallen since the church was closed for several months, and we were not able to have services, weddings, funerals or baptisms, or other fundraising events. Although some of these have restarted, numbers have to be limited, and some people are cautious about coming out because of their health conditions. It's easy to let all this get you down and feel fed up. At such a time, it's good to turn to Scripture, and this week I've been reading Paul's letter to the Philippians, which is one of our readings for this Sunday. Paul wrote this letter while he was in prison. He'd been arrested and imprisoned for preaching the gospel and upsetting the authorities. Paul was very fond of the Christians at Philippi. We can tell that from the way in which he addresses them. "My brothers and sisters," he says, "whom I love and long for, my joy and crown, stand firm in the Lord in this way, my beloved." Although he is writing from isolation, he is still thinking about his friends in Philippi and wants to support and encourage them from a distance and build them up in their faith and unity. It sounds like there'd been a falling out amongst two of the women, and that they were stirring up trouble. He pleads with them to agree with each other in the Lord. For divisions and disagreements in the church, when they are aired publicly, do nothing for church unity. In fact, they encourage people to take sides and argue against each other. We really must make every effort to build one another up and encourage each other as much as we can. And Paul continues, "Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice." This is what he says to them, even while he is in prison, and may not feel he has much to rejoice about. We were talking about this in the prayer course last night. One vital aspect of prayer is adoration. How do we, in the course of our daily lives, lift our hearts, minds and voices to the Lord in praise of him and all that he has done? We found the Psalms to be a source of great inspiration, and when we use a psalm or a favourite hymn or song of praise, how it can lift our spirits and help us to raise our sights to the Lord rather than be buried in our own concerns. The Lord loves it when we praise and worship him, so let's try and do it. And finally, Paul says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." And instead of being bowed down with worry, fear, and concerns, let us turn to the Lord, put all our faith, hope, and trust in him, and ask for his help in our lives, in our church, in our nation, and in our world. We are going through a huge upheaval in the world at this time. Let us be gentle with ourselves and with each other. Let us be grateful for all that God has given us. Let us offer our praise and thanksgiving to him. And then, as Paul continues, the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. for that is ultimately what is important. Guarding our hearts and minds in Christ, persevering in our faith and love for the Lord, and pointing others to the hope which is in us. I'm going to close with the final words of Paul from this passage, which we can use as a prayer. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Whatever you have learned or received or heard or seen in me, put it into practice, and the God of peace will be with you. Amen.